This is a crazy story with dealing with Vince and you and I. It happened here in Tampa.
God.
How crazy was that?
Yeah.
This is.
You want to tell the story?
Let's tell it.
Let's tell it.
I wrote about it in my book, so people are going to hear about it pretty soon, anyways. But so we're in Tampa, and the idea was I was the world champ. I had a lot of heat with the fans, like as a big heel.
Right.
And we did what was it called? Taboo Tuesday or Cyber Sunday.
Yeah.
And the idea was that the fans would pick the referee. Right. And Vince said to me, listen, we want to put Dave over because we want people to know that when they invest in this pay-per-view that their opinion counts.
Right.
But you'll win it back.
We'll give it right back to you.
The next week in Tampa in a cage match.
Right.
So we get to the Tampa for the cage match.
Right. And we had a great match.
Yeah, we did.
It was a great win. I was, of course, you were going over, and we knew how you were going over with them. And I just thought, this was a point where we weren't shedding blood anymore.
Yeah.
We're PG, and I just didn't want to hear that because it made no sense to me, especially when there's a title match involved. And
yes,
I was just still, it was still instilled in me that when you get hit over the head with a metal pipe, you bleed.
Because we were in a cage too.
When we were in a cage, it was like, it just made sense. And so I decided.
Yeah, the finish was that I had some kind of a brass knuckle or a pipe on top of the cage.
Yeah, it was a pipe that you reached off the top of the cage.
And you were going to powerbomb me off the top rope, but I grabbed the pipe and hit you with it.
Yeah. So anyway, so I ended up, I did what I thought was the right thing to do. Yeah. And I shed a little blood for business. And of course, I got hard weight as well. So
I think we tried to mask it as being hard weight. Yeah.
So I'm just kind of bleeding all over the place. But yeah, so we.
But let me say this though, it was a really good match.
It was a great match, man.
It was a great match. I remember there's some great stuff in there.
I can't believe that we had to deal with grief over that, man. We did.
Right.
What kills me too is I got the big fine.
Well, let's slow down a bit. So we come back through the curtain, and we've had this great cage match. And it was, like you said, I as the heel beat Batista for the title.
Right.
Come back through the curtain, and then there's a lot of yelling and screaming going on.
Very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable because Dave had there was some blood involved. So Vince said, I'm not going to talk about this with any of you guys. Right. I'll see you next week, and I'll decide what your punishment is. No, I called him on the way home, and I called him.
You weren't very nice about your phone call, were you?
Well, I was like, listen, Vince, I'll take responsibility for it, but this match was great. Like, I'm the vet. And he's like, shut up, F off. I don't want to talk to you. I'll talk to you next week. Go F yourself. But the call was 18 seconds long. That was it. Boom. So we have a whole European tour. And we got to worry about what's going to happen on Monday.
Oh, man.
So do you remember on Monday, TV finishes and they lead us into an office.
Yeah, so so they've got this monitor set up in front of a mirror, and we're sitting down like three kids in trouble with Vince pacing behind us. Yes. He has like a toothpick in his mouth.
Yes. It's me, Dave, Dean Malenko, who was the producer of the match, and Mike Kyoto, who was the ref.
And Johnny Ace was in there, right? Yeah. So Vince is pacing back like the detective, and we're being interrogated. Yeah. And then they start playing the playbacks in slow motion with the highlights, like it's a space, like the alien.
Yeah, real UFOs. Here's the UFO, and they show the little white circle in the right corner where you're supposed to look to see where the UFO is in the sky. Right. That's what they had around Batista's hand and Batista's forehead. And
slow motion.
Yeah, slow motion.
We know what we did. We know what we did. What's the consequences?
Do you remember there was a camera angle from like the back of the arena that I'd never seen before?
No, where did that camera come from?
It was like a secret, like that. That's why, like,
it was Big Brother. It was the Big Brother camera.
It was. Yeah. You never pick your nose in the arena because someone's always filming you.
Right.
So yeah, they like Dave just said over and over again, slow motion. Here it is one way, and here it is another way, and here it is another way, and it's like you said, we get it. There's blood involved. We did it. Now, you had told me earlier in the day that I'm going to get some blood, get some color. And I said, listen, man, whatever you want to do, just, whatever.
Right.
And I didn't really get much more into it than that. Right. So I kind of knew, but didn't really know.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have fallen on you. And it was kind of, it was my choice, and it was me kind of being rebellious. I knew we weren't supposed to do it, but to me, I was just, it just felt like the right thing to do, and I was really kind of a little bitter about the way the direction we were going with the company. I wasn't on board. I wasn't a part of the program, and so I was being a little rebellious. And I knew I would get consequences, but I thought I would get the consequences, and I didn't think they would be as harsh as they were.
So Vince is there, and he's like, "I could fire you, but that would be too easy."
Yeah, right.
He said, "Tell him what he said."
And he starts passing out fines, and I think did he give you guys first?
No, you were first.
Or was I first? So my fine was $100,000.
I will never forget that.
My heart dropped, man, because I thought it was going to be like $25,000. I thought that was going to be like harsh, and I knew it was going to sting. And when he said $100,000, I was just heartbroken. I literally think that he sucked the life out of me that day. That's when I felt. I think that's the day that I knew I was, things were never going to be the same.
Wow, interesting. We've never really talked about this before.
No, it really, because I felt like I did the right thing. And I felt like I did what was good for I did the right thing. I did what, it was good business. This was the stuff that was instilled in us that we were supposed to do. This is what makes our business special. This what makes us a brotherhood. We do this for our company. We do this for our fans. And he just literally sucked the life out of me by punishing me for doing that. It broke my heart. It broke my heart.
Yeah, I like I said, we've never talked about this, and that really, I couldn't believe when he said that.
Yeah, I couldn't.
$100,000, and I honestly, from my perspective, he came to me next, and it was like the angel of death, like in Jericho, because he said, and none of you even called me, and I was like, I called you.
Yeah, you did. You did.
He's like, well, none of you even called me, but you. And so when he was handing those fines, I think I would have. I don't know if I would have got the 100, but I think I would have got. But he ended up. He's like, and you $5,000.
Right.
And I remember I almost started laughing, like $5,000. Like, what are you smiling? I'm like, nothing. And he fined Dean $5,000, which, those guys will make a lot of money.
That hurt, man.
Hurt Dean, and then Kyoto $5,000 too.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, I will say this, as man to man, gained so much respect for that day because you paid everybody's fines.
Yeah, but
all of ours.
What really broke my heart is Dean, because he was the one guy. He knew nothing about it.
He literally knew nothing.
He
about
knew
it.
nothing about it, man.
And Vince was on his case, like, you should have known. You should know about these guys. Yeah. Like, how would he know?
That really sucked. That really hurt me, because Dean's a good dude, man.
Great guy.
He didn't deserve.
And he
that.
didn't know.
He had no idea, man. He got punished, and I felt like I stabbed him in the back, and he didn't deserve it. It really sucked, man.
And like I said, that's probably the biggest fine I've ever heard of in my life.
It was so ridiculous, man. And it was to prove a point, and it was just, it really did. It broke my heart, man, because I just felt like that was, I did what was right, man. I got punished for it, and that
hurts too. I mean, I don't care if you're Donald Trump. $100,000 is
that's a lot of money. I don't know, man.
So, and that was kind of the